On the outside, the Swift sports a sleek and modern design. Suzuki have introduced a new Horizon design line that wraps around the vehicle, creating a sense of motion. Rounded shoulder lines give it a sporty edge, while the iconic Suzuki badge proudly sits at the front of the bonnet. Lower headlight positions and L-shaped daytime running lights not only enhance visibility, but also add a touch of sophistication. And check out those clear rear tailgate lights.
A LISTNR production.
Hey there, it's Andrew Shao with you. Transport Victoria has issued some timely advice for regional Victorians sneaking a last-minute road trip to the snow. Chris Miller says there are precautions you must take.
It's the opening of the ski season, so if you are headed up to the ski fields, you are required to carry chains and fit them when directed, and there's some fairly hefty fines that apply if you don't. For more tips, just head to the Transport Victoria website. It'll tell you how to fit the chains.
Meantime, police are still hoping to keep everyone driving home from their long weekend adventures today safe. Operation Regal continues until 11:59pm tonight, with officers targeting bad behaviour on our major highways and arterial roads. There are fears teachers on the Victorian side of the border will cross over into New South Wales to get paid more. Justin Mullally from the Australian Education Union says there's a stark difference in wages in regional Victoria versus just over the border.
This matters, and it matters because teachers in Victoria, not least along the border, will be considering whether or not they're better off being teachers in New South Wales. That'll just add to the shortage, not fix it.
Making other news this morning, Premier Jacinta Allen says her government will continue to listen to regional Victorians after chairing the very first meeting of the state's Drought Response Task Force last week. And there's been plenty of snowfall at regional Victoria's snowfields in recent days, a perfect start to the ski season. Falls Creek alone recording more than 17 centimetres, and Mount Buller snagged at least 7, if not more.
It's been a busy few days for emergency services, rescuing many travellers who became stranded after getting bogged around Mount Hotham over the long weekend. Emma Clark reports.
Police and SES volunteers responded to multiple incidents on Sunday and were still helping stranded drivers on Monday morning. Authorities say many of those caught out had not brought snow chains or didn't know how to fit them. Motorists heading to alpine areas are being reminded to drive to the conditions and be properly prepared for snow and ice. Failing to carry chains may result in a $395 fine, while failing to fit them when required may attract a $988 penalty. Emma Clark, Ace Radio.
Police are investigating a car fire that gutted a white Mercedes-Benz in Wodonga early yesterday morning. The vehicle was found burning by a passerby on Bandiana Link Road shortly after 1am. Investigations are underway. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers. Most of Victoria and the southern Riverina had a much-needed dumping of rain over the long weekend. Totals at Albury Airport seeing 21 millimetres of rain fall between Friday and Monday morning. Brett Hosking from the Victorian Farmers Federation says it's been a good boost, but more is always needed.
There'd be a few areas saying they haven't got what they wanted, but everyone has got something. Unfortunately, that recovery to sort of pasture that's ready to graze is probably going to be something to the tune of 10 to 12 weeks.
The Victorian government has approved a battery energy storage system for Dedderang. Despite plenty of objection, the 400 megawatt hour project was given the green light by the Victorian Planning Minister Sonia Kilkenny last Thursday. Seasonal road and track closures are in place across Victoria's parks and forests from today. The closures aim to protect the environment and keep visitors safe during the wet and snowy months. Fines of up to $3,846 apply for those caught driving in restricted areas. Forest Fire Management Victoria Deputy Chief Fire Officer for the Hume Region Aaron Kennedy says travellers should plan ahead.
So it will mean that in some areas of our state parks and forests that there'll be limited access across those areas. And these seasonal road closures are typically in place from June until November every year. So it will mean that people cannot access those areas after the King's birthday long weekend.
Communities affected by natural disasters in New South Wales, like the Southern Riverina, are being given access to more support. The Country Women's Association has activated funding for drought and flood-affected areas, including the Federation, Lockhart, Greater Hume and Albury City LGAs. The association's New South Wales Chief Executive, Danica Lee, says the organisation has members on the ground.
CWA is a very practical organisation, so what we try to do is we try to listen to our branches and our members on the ground in terms of what they're telling us that they need to support their communities.
The Nationals say it's time Canberra resumes an inquiry that's looking at the future of our regional shires and councils around the border and northeast, and more specifically how they can remain financially viable. Shadow Local Government Minister Anne Webster says the answer can't simply be through higher rates.
Councils are really in a wicked problem where rates are not high enough to pay for the services they need to provide, and yet the federal government and state government do not contribute adequately to councils' needs.
Our local ski resorts around the northeast have enjoyed a major dusting of snow in recent days, and they're hoping that'll continue well into winter for the school holidays. Falls Creek copped at least half a metre of snow on the opening weekend of the ski season, with even more expected in the coming days. And off the back of a decision to increase the national minimum wage by 3.5% last week, the Peak Farm Lobby is calling on the Fair Work Commission to ensure any future increases are underpinned by productivity improvements around the border.
Farmers want to do the right thing by the people they employ. The challenge is they're going to have to find the money to pay for it. And farmers aren't price setters. They generally don't set the prices for what they sell, and that makes paying for higher wages somewhat of a challenge.
National Farmers Federation Chief Executive Troy Williams there.
The figures are in following a King's Birthday long weekend operation conducted by New South Wales Police. Emma Roberts reports.
Operation King's Birthday long weekend ran from 12 a.m. on Friday through to 11:59 p.m. on Monday night. Officers conducted 23,468 breath tests, resulting in 38 PCA charges, while 154 drivers tested positive for drugs in the southern region. 1,121 speed infringements were issued, and there were 36 major crashes recorded, including one fatality. Emma Roberts, Ace Radio.
Firefighters from Forest Fire Management Victoria have been deployed to Canada to help battle wildfires burning across the country. The team of 20, including 4 firefighters from the northeast, will be joining the 96-strong Australian group for the next few weeks. Forest Fire Management Victoria Hume Deputy Chief Fire Officer Aaron Kennedy says it'll be a massive few weeks for the group.
It's an arduous task force that's been deployed, and so they can expect to be deployed for the next 36 days. So they'll do 2 14-day rotations, responding to wildfires in quite remote parts of the country.
There's a call out for blood donors in Albury as this week marks National Blood Donor Week. The Lifeblood Albury Donor Centre says it needs to fill 130 appointments over the next 2 weeks to keep up with demand. Emily Granlin from Lifeblood says making a donation is quick and easy.
A blood donation appointment takes an hour all up, but the donation itself only takes 5 to 10 minutes. So it includes a questionnaire and a health check to make sure that you are feeling healthy and well and ready to donate on the day. And at the end, you get to sit back and relax and enjoy some snacks.
Today is Thank a First Responder Day. It's an opportunity for the border community to say thank you to the many local first responders. CFA District 24 Assistant Chief Fire Officer Brett Myers says they have plenty of incredible volunteers right here on the border.
CFA volunteers are an amazing breed of people. They come from all walks of life. We've got doctors, teachers, retired people, students. So they're certainly providing a very good representation of the community right across Northeast, and they do amazing work. And just most recently over the weekend, we've had volunteers from Mount Hotham that have been out in sub-zero temperatures supporting Victoria Police with the massive search and rescue effort that's been unfolding up at Mount Hotham.
Victoria Police have revealed the numbers from their long weekend road safety blitz, Operation Regal. In total, there were 32 offences detected in the Wodonga service area as part of Operation Regal, including 23 motorists caught speeding, 4 drink or drug drivers, and a couple of unregistered vehicles. Meantime, officers have expressed their shock at the rate of drink driving statewide, with 1 in every 335 breath tests of more than 68,000 conducted, reportedly returning a positive result. 9 of 16 new beds at the short stay unit at Albury Hospital will soon be in service. The Victorian State Government says they'll be up and running in July, with hopes it'll ease pressure on the emergency department. But Benambra Liberal MP Bill Tilley wants to see all 16 beds up and running. And our farmers across the border and northeast have welcomed the weekend's rain, but say the drought is far from over. Those cold fronts delivered 28 mils for Albury alone over the weekend, and Brett Hosking from the Victorian Farmers Federation says a lot more of that is required.
That's not a drought breaker. And look, even the areas that got really big falls are not a drought breaker. There is such a long rebuilding process coming out of a drought. You know, getting that mild winter will be really important. Getting that continued rainfall will be really important as well.
A 72-year-old man has been taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries following a crash at Barnawatha last night. Police say that a truck reportedly crashed into a barrier and rolled on the Hume Freeway shortly before 8 p.m. Wodonga Highway Patrol are investigating the crash. Anyone with information who witnessed the incident or has dashcam footage is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. A small earthquake hit Corryong last night. The magnitude 2.7 earthquake at a 1 kilometre depth was recorded shortly after 9 p.m. Geoscience Australia says there has now been 4 felt reports. The King's birthday long weekend saw a strong focus on road safety by police across Victoria conducting Operation Regal. Emma Clark reports.
In the Wodonga policing area, 32 offences were detected across the 4-day road safety blitz. 23 of those were for speeding offences, whilst others for drink and drug driving, disobeying signs, driving unregistered vehicles and driving whilst disqualified were also picked up. Road Policing Acting Assistant Commissioner David Burt says it was very disappointing that they detected so many motorists disregarding the road rules over the weekend, especially during some treacherous weather conditions. Emma Clark, Ace Radio.
Farmers in the Southern Riverina are feeling more confident and breathing a sigh of relief after finally receiving long-awaited rain over recent weeks. Mangapla mixed farmer Alison Southwell says it's great news, but she's hoping there will be more on the radar.
Well, where we are, we've been particularly lucky. We've had about 100 millimetres of rainfall over those 3-week periods across 2 main rainfall events. So 3 weeks ago, I was shrouded in dust trying to feed stock, and just the other day I got bogged. Would you believe it? So it's drought of flooding rains. We're definitely getting that.
Members of Victoria's First Peoples Assembly met with Jacinta Allen yesterday for the latest round of treaty negotiations. They were held on Jar Jar Wurrung country in the Premier's hometown of Bendigo.
We think it's really important to show that treaty and these sorts of conversations aren't just a city-based conversation. So we've had several conversations out in the region so far, and this is just another one of these conversations. And particularly given the significance of Jara having entered onto the negotiations database for traditional owner treaties, it was really powerful to be able to come out here to Jara country.
Co-chair of the Assembly, Ruben Berg, speaking there. Border councils say the Albury-based hospital expansion works could seriously increase traffic congestion and nearby services in their submission to the New South Wales Health Infrastructure Review of environmental factors for the redevelopment project. Other potential issues they flagged include a parking shortfall and construction noise and vibration impacting patients.
The building is adjacent to the cancer centre. The vibration, the noise associated with that is a considered issue for people and patients within that precinct, and I think that really is a considered view that patients won't be given the comfort they require whilst they're trying to seek treatment or recover from a debilitating illness.
That's Albury Mayor Kevin Mack. And Victoria Police says it doesn't have the resources or capacity to tell domestic violence victims around the border and northeast when their abuser is being released from prison. The force rejecting a recommendation from the coroner. The Herald Sun says Vic Police also claim victims can be hard to reach as they screen calls or change their numbers.
This is the Border Northeast Daily with Catherine Halleran. Domestic violence, sexual assaults and retail theft are on the rise across New South Wales. The New South Wales Bureau of Crime Statistics and Research has released its latest quarterly report. Executive Director at the New South Wales Bureau of Crime Statistics, Jackie Fitzgerald, says there's been a few increases in the Murray region.
Of the 13 major crime categories, 2 are on the increase in the Murray statistical area. So we've had a 12% uptick in domestic violence-related assault being recorded by police, and also a 1% increase in non-domestic assault coming to police attention, we are seeing increases in domestic violence in many parts of regional New South Wales, but not so many are increasing in the non-domestic area.
A number of towns across the northeast are vying to get a top title in this year's Victorian Top Tourism Town Awards. Rutherglen, along with Mount Beauty, are finalists in the Small Tourism Town category. Indigo Shire Council Tourism Officer Jess O'Brien-Church says Rutherglen is a standout when it comes to tourism.
It's really a place where sort of history meets real hospitality. So you've got this real balance between beautifully preserved 1850s Main Street architecture. You can wander down the main street and enjoy that more historic rural town feel. But then there's a dash of the unexpectedly elevated. So you can be wandering down the main street and then pop into the Victoria Hotel in Rutherglen, and you could be at a high-end gastropub somewhere in Melbourne or Sydney. So it's really got that mix of new and old and something for everyone.
The Victorian Government has launched a new help desk available to support apprentices and trainees in the northeast. Daniel Brewer has more.
Minister for Skills and TAFE Gail Tinney has launched the Apprentice Help Desk, a free service that provides advice and support, including information about wages and entitlements, training contracts, rights and responsibilities, along with health and well-being at work. Staffed by trained apprentice case support officers, the help desk can also help apprentices and trainees report serious issues, such as bullying and harassment, to the right regulator or authority. Daniel Brewer, Ace Radio.
Just a Farmer will be shown in Yakandanda tonight as part of a special fundraiser screening and Q&A session with the film's writer and producer. Leela McDougall is the film's writer, producer and leading actress and says it's a great opportunity for the community to come together.
You come along, there's some food and drink at the start, and then you'll sit and watch the movie and hopefully have a little bit of a cry and a really big laugh. There are funny bits in it as well that'll make you giggle, and then a nice conversation afterwards, and you can ask whatever kind of questions you want if you're in the audience, whether it's about filmmaking or mental health or farming.
Some concerning crime data for the Murray region this morning. Jackie Fitzgerald from the Bureau of Crime Statistics says 2 of the 13 major crime categories have recorded major jumps.
So that's a 12% increase in domestic assault and a 1% increase in non-domestic assault. Those violent increases are occurring in various pockets of New South Wales, so the Murray area is not alone in that increase.
The Borders Flying Fruit Fly Circus is branching out with a Melbourne hub to open in Collingwood later this year. The Metro branch will be based at the soon-to-launch Circus Centre Melbourne building and offer circus and theatre artists and performers year-round access to world-class facilities, nurturing artists and companies in the state's vibrant circus and physical theatre scene. Albury's councillors will be on the receiving end of a pay rise, approving the move off the back of a recommendation from the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal. And regional students around the border are being urged to get a wriggle on if they're keen to take part in this year's Parliament Prize. The initiative helps young people understand exactly how politics works and can also earn their school a $1,000 cash prize. To enter, Northern Victoria MP Gail Broad says students simply need to submit a video outlining what they'd say if they were in Parliament.
They can submit a 90-second member statement video. It's been fantastic to have students from Northern Victoria awarded in previous years, and I hope to see that repeated again this year. Entries close on Friday the 13th of June.
And you'll need to get those entries in by 5 p.m. this afternoon. Checking the latest in sport now, and it's been a busy weekend in the Coast Hunt League footy action for our local squads. The Murray Bushrangers girls didn't have much of an answer on Saturday morning against the Tasmania Devil squad, going down 36-8. Meantime, the Bendigo Pioneers struggled against the Dandenong Stingrays at home, losing out 97-26. But for the Gippsland Power Girls, it was better luck for them after toppling the Northern Knights by 13 points. As for the boys' squads, well, they enjoyed the weekend off and will be back out on field in a few days' time.
In round 8 of the Ovenson Murray footy, the Saints have caused a massive upset in their 44-point win over the ladder leaders, the Wang Rovers. Wodonga Bulldogs were too good for Albury, getting up by 14 points. North Albury got a 44-point win over Corowa Rutherglen. Lavington locked in a 43-point win on the road against Yarrawonga. And the Wang Magpies had a day out in their 99-point win over Wodonga Raiders.
Over to sport now, and a huge upset win in the Ovens and Murray League Senior Football, with Myrtleford overcoming reigning premiers the Rovers on Saturday. The Saints proved too good in the wet and muddy conditions, claiming the victory 66-22 at RC McNamara Reserve. Elsewhere in round 8, Wodonga kept Albury on the back foot, with the Tigers losing out by 14 points. The Hoppers, meantime, shifted into second on the ladder after toppling Corowa Rutherglen by 44. As for Yarrawonga, they went down to Lavington, and Wangaratta proved far too good for the Raiders. And jumping over to the A-grade netball now, and the Roos won over the Hoppers by a single goal, while Myrtleford also snagged a win against the Rovers.
16-year-old Sienna Tui has qualified for the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore after winning the women's 100-metre breaststroke in Adelaide last night. She narrowly beat her personal best time of 1 minute and 7 seconds. The border teenager will represent Australia on the big stage from July 11.
16-year-old Sienna Tui stole the show at the Aussie Swimming Trials overnight. The Albury teenager booked her place at the World Champs, blitzing the field in the 100-metre breaststroke and struggled to contain her emotions.
Beautiful. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm just so excited because I've worked so hard.
On 9 there. And Myrtleford's O&M season might be going from strength to strength already, but there's a chance they could have their stocks bolstered by a former AFL player. Matt Taberner may end up pulling on the boots yet again for the Saints this season. The former Fremantle player potentially set to play between another 4 to 6 games for the squad, according to coach Craig Miller. He's told the Border Mail the experienced player is busy with work and university, but still keen to play.
The Albury Wodonga Bandits are back on court this weekend as the second half of the season gets underway. Round 12 sees the Bandits at home taking on North's Bears for the Alan McCowan Memorial Game. Coach of the men's side, Matt Kowalczyk, says Al was one of the greatest players for the Bandits.
Al's obviously one of the greats of the club. I think he's first or second in just about every statistical category the club has in its history. So, it's a really special game that we play every year. Unfortunately, he passed away. And, this is just our way of honouring him. And, the players always get up and about for it. They play really hard in his honour. And the crowd is always fantastic for these games as well.
Turning to sport now, and Sienna Tui has a good reason for missing school next month. After qualifying for her first Aussie swim team in the 100-metre breaststroke, the 16-year-old from Albury did it again last night, taking out the 50-metre event. Tui has told Nine it means less time in the classroom.
Well, I can't say that I've gone that much this term, but I get to miss out on more.
She'll be off to Singapore next month.
In the Ovens and Murray footy, a challenge lies ahead for Albury, who will welcome the Wangaratta Magpies to the sports ground. The Wang Rovers will be out for redemption when they host the Wodonga Bulldogs. Myrtleford Saints hit the road to take on the North Albury Hoppers. Lavington will hope their recent run of form continues when they welcome Corowa Rutherglen. Yarrawonga head to Wodonga to play the Raiders.
To sport now, and round 9 in the Ovens and Murray League kicks off tomorrow afternoon, and there's set to be some cracking matches to get out and see. It's 2nd v 5th, with North Albury hosting Myrtleford. The Hoppers keen to shift into top spot on the ladder with a win over the Saints, and a bit of luck if the Rovers lose out to the Bulldogs. Meantime, the Raiders will be aiming to nab their first win of the season when they take on the struggling Pigeons. Meantime, Albury shouldn't give Wangaratta too much trouble, and Lavington are home to the Roos.
Unleash your vehicle's power beyond limits. Discover our exclusive range of Yuasa automotive batteries, engineered for unparalleled reliability and performance to power your journey like never before. Battery World. Power your passion.